X-Man!
Hey, hello again. So I got a bit of an update for my Gold Pride Mutant deck that I actually got some new support that I didn't even realize until a week or so ago. But I've been playtesting it and it's been working pretty well actually, even better than I thought, because the new card that came out, that you probably saw in the thumbnail, really helps this deck specifically. It's kind of funny how many ways it can actually level up this deck. So, as last time, as you can guess by my sleeves here, it's all based on this guy, Psychic and Punisher. So I'll just quickly give you the deck breakdown here. Still a mutant deck at heart, so we got our M-05, so you got 3 of those. And this is the guy that when you summon it, searches for a mutant monster, and brings it to your hands from your deck, and then you contribute it to special summon one of your mutant level 8s from your deck. And usually you're going to get this guy, Mutant, from your deck. And then he can also tribute himself, banish a card from your deck, and summon another level 8. And this deck is mostly based on summoning level 8s. And our other mutant monster, we got 2 Mutant STs to search your spells and traps. And he also has the same effect, tribute itself, banish a card, and get your level 8 mutant monsters. And next, this is a little bit unusual, a little unconventional for a mutant deck, but I have 1 Mist and 2 Beasts for our level 8s. No Arsenal. So I just felt like the Arsenal was either too expensive or I didn't really run a lot of traps in the deck in general. And I felt like I didn't really need it in this specific version. And also, I just have a problem trying to cut the deck size down. It's already at 42, but you can, remove some cards here and there. And I should also mention this is an OCG deck, so we got to pay the Maxx C tax. So if you're making this for TCG, it'll actually be even easier for you because you can just remove all those cards and replace them with even better ones. So Beast is the one that's summoned by tributing a monster and banishing a monster, and Mist is the one that's banishing a spell. Beast is usually the strongest one, so that's why there's 2 of him, and he also has the effect to negate spells. And Mist is the one where you can banish a card when your opponent activates a trap, draw 2. Pretty weak, but his main purpose is to just be a level 8 that you can summon from your deck, which is really important for this build specifically. These guys also have bonus effects that a lot of people forget about. Beast cannot be targeted by monster effects, and Mist cannot be targeted by spells. Easy way to remember that is the monster, or the card rather, that you tribute, that you banish to summon them, is the card that they're also immune to. Just like Arsenal is immune to traps, or not immune I should say, not targetable by traps. And next we got some Gold Pride. Most important card in the deck is Gold Pride Leon. He's going to be your tuner. That's mainly how you're getting to your Psychic and Punisher, because he's a 3. You guys can guess, right? Level 8 plus level 3 is 11, so that's how you get to him. Leon also has some good effects where he can quick synchro on the opponent's turn, and he also has the effect to summon a Gold Pride monster from your graveyard. But remember, if you do that, you're locked into Gold Pride monsters from your extra deck. I think, if that's how that worked. Sometimes I forget which way is which. You're either locked to only using Gold Pride monsters. I think you can only summon Gold Pride monsters after you summon from your graveyard. And then when you quick synchro, you can only use Gold Pride monsters, but you can synchro summon into anything. Yeah, I think that's how he works. And next to Leon, we also have, she was actually hiding under here, Carrie, Gold Pride Carrie. She's also another level 3, and she can search your deck for a Gold Pride trap. And we also have this guy here, GPRP, Gold Pride Roller Baller. And he's another guy who can special summon himself, and he can fusion summon on your opponent's turn, or your turn. And the last one we have is Gold Pride Nitro. He's also level 8. He can make a token on your opponent's turn during your opponent's standby phase, and then he can pop the token during the main phase to destroy all cards in adjacent zones, including spells or traps. So sometimes a useful effect. Pretty niche, but his main purpose is to be a level 8. And if you know Gold Pride cards, these are all able to be special summoned from your hand, the Leon, the Carrie, the Rollerballer, the Nitro. You can special summon all these cards from your hand if you have lower life points than your opponent, which is the main focus of this deck. So there's our Gold Pride guys. And next, we have this guy, new guy. I believe his name is Genjin. So this is actually a retrain. This card just came out last month over here in Japan, the OCG. And he's really what makes this deck a lot better, in my opinion. And the way this guy works, he's a retrain of the old, I think it's Genjin was his name. And basically how he works, he can't be destroyed by monster effects, which is helpful. But he's also a level 8, as you can see, which is important for us. And he has a few effects. One is if he is in your hand, you can activate it and you set him in your spell and trap zone. Then you can special summon him from your spell and trap zone. And if you don't have the spell card, Millennium Cross, I think it's called, or I'm going to guess it's what it's called in English. I think it's like Sennen no Cross in Japanese, maybe. And when you do that, you take 2,000 damage in life points. You pay 2,000 life points to special summon him, if you don't reveal the spell. And when he's summoned, you can search your deck for a Millennium monster. It's probably going to be called. I think they're called Sennen no monsters. Millennium monsters. So you can also search for himself. So you can search for another copy of himself in your hand. So what this does, this actually helps this deck in 3 ways. 1, it's a level 8 that you can just special summon. So our deck is like a level 8 deck, so it's really good. 2, he makes your life points lower than your opponent because you pay 2,000 life points. Also great. 3, he searches for a card from your deck to your hand by just summoning him. So he already gives you a card to banish for your mutant effects. So he actually solves like 3 problems in the deck all at the same time. Really helpful, really great card. And he's going to be quite important for this deck. Next, we got our hand traps. As I mentioned, this is a not TCG deck, an OCG deck. So of course we have to play our 3 Ash Blossoms. And of course we have to play the 3 Maxx C. You just have to make this deck more competitive, right? If you know Master Duel, you already know about this card. And you have to play the Ashes to stop the Maxx Cs, of course, or you just lose, right? And also we have Dimension Shifters. We got 2 of those because you can only play 2. If you're playing in TCG, yeah, you could just play 3 of these because we don't really care that much about the graveyard. Sometimes it affects Leon and Gold Pride cards a little bit, but it's pretty minimal. So you definitely want to run Shifter because it's going to hurt your opponent way more than you. Next, on to the spells and traps. For Gold Pride cards, we play 3 GP, better luck next time. And here's the 1 trap that the Carrie searches. So the way this card works, Gold Pride, better luck next time. In Japanese it just says better raku. So you play this in your spell and trap zone. It's a permanent spell. Search your deck for any Gold Pride monster, and then you lose life points equal to that monster's attack points, which is great because, you know, it helps us lower our life points. This is the whole purpose of the deck. So you can summon, so you play the Better Luck, search maybe for a Leon. If you don't have Leon, maybe you need a level 8, you can search the Nitro, get the Nitro out. If you already have everything you need, you can just get a Carrie and search for the trap. So very versatile card. If you bring out Carrie, Carrie searches this trap here. And what this trap does is, when your opponent summons a monster, you can activate this card, and then it destroys that monster. Then you can special summon a Gold Pride monster from your deck. How that works is you have to pick 3 Gold Pride monsters from your deck, and then your opponent, I think, picks 1 at random, and then special summons it. Of course, the way this usually works is you play this, and then if you have 3 Leon in your deck still, you can just pick 3 Leon. It guarantees the Leon to be special summoned. And then you have like the Carrie, and he can quick synchro on your opponent's turn to create more interrupts. That's how that works, basically. But another great thing is, even if you have like the Leon already used, you can just pick like 2 Leon and Rollerballer. That's also great, because then it also makes either the Fusion on their turn to interrupt or the Synchro to interrupt. So, and sometimes you even have chances where you summon the Leon and summon like Nitro from your graveyard. You summon that back out, and then you can like synchro off and then you make a Psychic End Punisher on your opponent's turn instead of your own turn. Because you can do that if you're only using Gold Pride monsters to synchro summon. You can go into anything, but you can only use Gold Pride monsters as material. So that's how those cards work. Next is the mutant cards. Also surprising. Trying to cut down on the ratios here. So we only have 2. Myutant Fusion, Myutant Cry. Only 1 Cry. I would like to put more of these in the deck, but to be honest, while I'm playing, like not just this deck, but almost every deck, I really hate drawing this card. It just gets stuck in my hand sometimes because I don't have like the mutant cards to summon. Like I don't have any starters, and sometimes I just have like level 8s in my hand, and I'm stuck with like the level 8s in my hand, and you can't fusion summon with this. They have to get out of your hand to be able to do it, either graveyard or banish. So I've just been finding just 1 Cry that you search off the ST is usually like almost good enough. So we'll see, I'm testing it out. Another good point is I want to make this deck 42 cards just to minimize the chance of drawing these level 8 guys, because these are kind of bricks, these are garnets basically. You don't want to draw them, you want to like special summon them from the deck. So that helps. But we'll see. I do kind of miss the multiple Cries, because it makes the grind game a lot weaker if you don't have multiple Cries to recycle your mutant fusions and stuff. But so far, I haven't missed it yet, but sometimes in long games, I feel like I will. Next, we got some generic spells that are great for the deck. Another key one here is Piri Reis Map. And what this card does is this searches a 0 attack monster from your deck to your hand, and then you lose half your life points. You can only play it at the beginning of main phase 1, so make sure you don't make that mistake. Make sure you like, no matter what you have to play this card first, unless you're playing it like in the draw phase or a standby phase, which it does happen sometimes, so be aware of that. But if you're starting your main phase, you have to play this first or you're not playing it at all, basically. And you search your deck for any monster of 0 attack, which is a few targets. You're usually getting M-05, or you could get Mutant if you want. Or another funny thing is I often get Ash as a 0 attack monster, because it's a tuner. I've actually had that happen a number of times, surprisingly. And then once it goes to your hand, you can't activate that monster's effects until you normal summon it, which is perfect for M-05, right? Because that's what you're doing anyway. But just be aware. So you can't take like an Ash Blossom and then just hold it for its effect. That's not going to work. You have to wait like until the turn after the next one, and then you can use its effects in your hand. That's the way that works. And it's also really helpful just to half your life points and to find, some of your starters. Very similarly, of course, you have your emergency teleport. If you're playing mutants, then of course, this card's very important. Summon your M-05 from your deck, or your ST from your deck. ST, this guy also. If you're playing in the TCG, you want to run 3 of these. This is actually semi-limited in the OCG and Master Duel. I'm not sure why, but it is, Maybe someday we'll go back up to 3. It might happen. But for now, we can only have 2. So we just have to make a deal with that. Of course, we got Called by the Grave. We got 2 of those because we have to negate our opponent's Maxx Cs. I've actually been finding this is very helpful. Just sometimes it negates their Ash Blossoms or they're my opponent's starters every now and then. So it is a good card. I got the Rhoda, Reinforcements of the Army. What this is for is to get your Leon. This can search for your Leon, and it's super important in your deck. But if you want to cut some cards, maybe this would be the one that you might cut. And also the 1 pot, you can only have this 1 pot card here to help you search your cards. Sometimes I wonder if I should cut this card and maybe this card to make it an even 40. You could try that if you want, but again, I kind of like having more than 40 just to not draw the level 8 mutants as often. And just to have these cards that help more consistency, So it's kind of a weird thing, right? Maybe you want to play 40 cards for consistency, but if you have to play so many garnets, then maybe you should play more than 40 to make it more consistent, which is kind of funny. It's an idea I've been experimenting with. And basically that's how that works. And over here, this is the extra. Again, I've been experimenting with this too. Of course, we have the Psychic End Punisher. It's the most important card in the deck. If you don't know what this does, it's the level 11 Synchro, which we make in this deck very easily with the Leon and the Ash Blossom sometimes by normal summoning it with a level 8. Synchro it off, make a 11. And what he does is he will gain attack in the battle phase equal to the difference of life points between you and your opponent. This deck is very good at lowering your own life points. It's quite reasonable, it's quite consistent to bring your life points into the triple digits on the first turn. You can bring your life down points even to like 100 life points or 300 life points pretty consistently, which is pretty funny. And that makes it gain so much attack that it goes up to like 100,000, 11,000 life points, attack points. I said 100, huh? 100,000, yeah. Attack points. So even like attacking over it is really difficult. And of course it is unaffected by activated effects when your life points are lower than your opponent's, which also makes it a tower. It's very hard to get over. One of the key ways most decks beat Psychic and Punisher is just they run something else into it first, and then they have lower life than you. But in this deck, that's actually really difficult because your life points are so low that it's really hard for them to get like under 300, right, and not kill themselves on Psychic and Punisher. It's really funny. And other than that, we actually got 2 of him. You probably don't need to. I think you might want to replace the second one with something maybe a little different, but for now I'm trying 2. Sometimes I have gotten both out on the field at the same time, but you know, it's kind of overkill. Maybe you can get by with 1, but for now let's try 2. I'm trying to experimenting. I only have the 1 Synthesis and the 1 Ultimus for mutant cards, which is why maybe you want to include double Synthesis because it makes it a little harder to fusion summon, but I only have the 1 Cry in the deck, so for now it's been working, but you know, I feel a little naked without my second Synthesis in the deck. Because if you didn't know, the way Mutant Cry works, you shuffle your mutant cards back into your deck, and if you already have a Synthesis in the graveyard, like your Synthesis is in your graveyard or banished, you activate Mutant Cry, you cannot go like put Synthesis back and then summon the same one. That's actually illegal, you can't do that. So you do have to have the second Synthesis for that kind of play. And Synthesis is really good. He comes out, he pops a card, basically. Target a card, destroy it. His other effect is he can be immune, basically, to any card effects your opponents play this turn of the same type. So that means he comes out, your opponent plays a spell card to destroy it, you chain his effect. I'm immune to spell cards this turn. That's basically how he works. So if they play a monster effect or trap effect, same thing. But only for the end of that turn. And of course, you know, the way around that would be if you activate a monster effect and then you kill it with a spell, of course that's fine. If you activate a monster effect and they chain another monster effect before it resolves, of course that's another way to out it. When it dies, it also brings back your banished mutant cards, which doesn't come up too often in this version of Mutant that I'm playing, this deck, but in other decks it comes up more often. Ultimus doesn't come up very often because you have to basically have every mutant card already in the graveyard. So you have to use 3 level 8 or higher mutants, so that would be these cards. So you have to shuffle 3 of these cards back into the deck when you fusion something with Cry. Or if you're using the Fusion can also bring this out, bring out Ultimus by banishing the material from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Or field if your opponent activated an effect that turn. Kind of similar to like Shaddoll Fusion a little bit. But the requirement is only your opponent had to play an effect, so that's usually pretty easy. Ultimus is really good because he's basically an Omni-Negate in a lot of situations because he banishes either a mutant spell or trap or monster from your hand, field, or graveyard, and he negates and banishes the effect or the card your opponent played. He doesn't come up too often, but he actually comes up a little more often than you would think. If you notice when you can set it up, because sometimes you play a thing like I play M-05, I have a hand with like M-05, and then I play Mist, not Mist, and then I play Mutants, tribute the Mutants, and then I banish the Mutant Beast from deck. Banish the Beast from deck to summon a Beast on the field. And then I have like a spell card, like probably have like Better Luck or something, like the Gold Pride card. Somewhere. Oh, there it is. And maybe I have the Gold Pride card already down here, I tribute that, and then I bring out Mist from the deck, and then I already have the material for Ultimus, right? So that might be how that one works. So it does come up. he's still nice to have around. Let's see, next, guess I'll go over the Gold Pride. So there's 3 Gold Pride cards in here. We got Gold Star, that's his name, right? Sutar Leon, so Star Leon, he's called. And we have the Chariots, Gold Pride Chariots, and Gold Pride Pinballer. So I guess I'll go over how each of these work in the deck. So how this would work, you probably made like a Leon, and you probably had maybe a Carrie. So the most common way that you would find this card is if you had a turn where you summon the Carrie gets the trap, your opponent summons a card on their turn, you activate the trap, destroy their monster, you summon the Leon from your deck, and then you have quick sync ability, you quick sync into the Star Leon. And Star Leon says he targets a card and gains attack equal to that monster's attack. And if your life points are lower than your opponent, which they should be in this deck, you can destroy it. So it's basically a double pop. So pop 1 with the trap, summon the star, and then pop 1 again. And the other cool thing, when you activate a Gold Pride extra deck monsters effect, I think that's how it's usually worded. At the end of the turn, they go back into the extra deck. Then you can special summon a Gold Pride monster based on who you summon. So if it's Star Leon, then he can summon Leon from the graveyard in the end phase. And then at the end of the turn, which is pretty cool, you can summon another monster, because Leon has the effect, summon a Gold Pride monster from your graveyard. So you just summon them back at the end phase, because Leon will bring the Carrie back with him, which is pretty cool. And then your turn starts, and then you can just do it again, right? So that's how that works. Another good target is when you activate this trap, and maybe you have 2 Leon in the deck. Maybe you used a Leon already, and you have maybe this setup. Maybe you have 2 Leons and a Roller Baller. This is where the Roller Baller gets to shine. You activate the trap. So this would be like if you have the Carrie on board already. Then you activate the trap, summon the Roller Baller. Maybe the Roller Baller gets chosen. And then you can fusion summon, much like the Leon does on your opponent's turn. You fusion summon into the Pinballer. And the Pinballer has a very similar effect. He will, instead of destroying cards, he will non-targeting equip them based on how many materials was used to summon him. So you use 2 Gold Pride monsters, right? Himself and probably the Carrie or somebody else. And he'll just suck them up. He'll equip them to himself, kind of like Relinquished. And that is pretty cool effect, because that is a non-targeting removal. Doesn't even send, doesn't destroy, just equips it to himself. So really hard to stop. And his bonus effect is even more difficult to stop, because if your life points are lower than your opponent's, the effect cannot be negated. But, if your opponents are, pretty smart or pretty good, they'll understand that, oh, they just have to negate the Roller Baller's effect instead of trying to negate this effect. But a lot of people don't know that, actually. So a lot of people do make that mistake still. And, oh yes, one more extra deck card is the Chariot. Chariot is a Xyz, rank 3. And how that's usually made is you have the Carrie, and I don't often go into this, but sometimes it comes up. Just good to have them in there. The ST is a level 3, the Carrie is a level 3, and sometimes I'm desperate, and the Ash is a level 3. Of course, the Leon also works, right? Maybe you have a spare Leon that's also level 3. So you're usually using one of these combinations, depending on your hand, right? And you Xyz into this thing, the Chariot, and the Chariot will detach and can search for a Gold Pride spell. That's where you get this, you get the better luck. Search for the Gold Pride card you're missing. Maybe it's the Leon, maybe you needed a level 8. Search for that, summon that, then you're good, right? It also has the extra effect of sending a monster from your deck to the graveyard, a Gold Pride monster from your deck to your graveyard. Sometimes I've set it up where I sent GP, Nitro, to the graveyard. And then maybe when this goes back into the extra deck because I activated its effect, then I bring back like the Carrie, and then maybe I had like the trap, I activate the trap, bring out the Leon brings back the Nitro, and then on my opponent's turn, using Gold Pride monsters, quick synchro into Punisher. So I've done that before too. So that's pretty funny way to get to Punisher. Alright, so what's next? In the extra, we also have your Almaraj, and this is often comboed with SP Little Knight. This is also like a 1-card SP, just there for the extra removal, because you summon your M-05, M-05 searches for Mutant special summons itself, Link off, Almaraj, Link off, SP, banish a card, for those situations where you really need to banish something, and you know, she's just good to have around. Other than that, we also have the Thy-Phoon, very helpful. Imagine most of you know, but if you don't know, Thy-Phoon can be special summoned when your opponent has 2 or more extra deck monsters that they summoned this turn or last turn. So funny enough, don't forget, this also includes the current turn, which is pretty funny, right? Because maybe your opponent didn't summon anything, but they summoned a bunch of stuff on my own turn, like a Goaty deck, or like this deck, like Gold Pride also does that, right? It also includes those monsters. So don't forget that you can go into Thy-Phoon on those turns as well. And you have to use the monster with the highest attack points. Cool thing in this deck is a lot of things are 0 or really low attack. You just XC summon right on top of it. And then you can't special summon for the rest of the turn though, because how it's balanced. And it can remove a material and bounce a card. Its other effect is if a monster has 3,000 or more attack, it can't activate any of its effects. So, you know, great for bouncing like Baron de Floor or something like that. They can't activate it, they can't negate it. Yeah, also helpful. Tech card, I guess. Of course, we got the Zeus. Zeus, very helpful. There's some rank 8s in here. So make rank 8, attack with the rank 8, put Zeus on top of it. Zeus will send everything out to the graveyard. The rank 8s we got in here, I'm experimenting a little bit with the rank 8s because there's a lot of options. There's a lot of good rank 8s out there. And this deck is really good at making rank 8s. So you can pick and choose what rank 8s you might like. I got number 90. Basically, all he is a monster negate. That's all he is. Because there's a lot of times where I just have like spare rank 8s just lying around, which is funny. Because I'll have like Genjin. I'll have Genjin here. And he'll just be sitting there at the end of the turn. And then maybe I made like a Mist or something. Mutant Mist. I don't even know what my cards are. Yeah, there we go. Maybe I'll have these guys lying around. I'll have like a Psychic End Punisher, or have like maybe I'll have like 2 beasts. I've had this before where I had 2 beasts out and like this guy or this guy. So probably I used the Mist that I made like Psychic End Punisher. And then after that I had a board like this. So I got like 2 beasts and Genjin here. So then I have like 2 rank 8s I don't need. It's like, oh, I'll just make another monster negate on top of that. So I got a monster negate, a spell negate, and a guy that you can't kill. But any rank 8s are really good for this deck. Speaking of which, got the Fire King guy. Also really helpful as a rank 8, the board clear. When you summon this guy as a XC summon, as a rank 8, you blow up every other monster on the board. So it's really good you can start with this guy. I've also done plays where I've summoned this guy first, like maybe I made like a rank 8, and then I kind of went into maybe a mutant card or something like that, and I made like the beast or something, and I had the board clear, and then you board clear, and then you wipe out their board, detach another card, then he can also target a spell or trap, negate that, and then I went into like Gold Pride play after that, so then I go into Gold Pride, and I get my Leon. And then maybe I had something like either this guy in hand and I summoned him, or I had the Gold Pride Nitro level 8 guy in my hand and I summoned him, and then I went Psychic End Punisher after I cleared the board. So that's another way you could do it. And after that, these 2 are also kind of optional. I got the Cypher Dragon cards here, number 62s. I'm kind of experimenting with these guys. These could also be some other cards if you would rather change them for like another Mutant Synthesis. I also would recommend that as well. But it's just another rank 8. How these guys work is, let's say you have like 2 8s, not those two. Maybe you have like 2 different rank 8s, and you can XCs into this 62. This 62 doesn't really do anything, and then you just XCs on top of it because he can do that. And what this guy is, he's a 4,000 attack, beginning of the battle phase, detach material, he can attack 3 monsters. Boom, boom, boom. And another common way to do that is I make this guy first, then maybe I had these 2, synchro those off. I have Psychic M Punisher, then this guy clears 3 monsters, and Psychic M Punisher attacks for game, maybe. Something like that. He doesn't gain any of his other effects. I thought this guy might include himself as a Cypher Dragon, because I think he's called like Cypher Primized Dragon or something, but that doesn't count. I thought he could gain the immunity effect and the attack gain effect, but he doesn't. But he does gain the ability to attack 3 times, still, by detaching. He still has that effect, but these other effects are not available. And there you go. I think that's basically how the deck works. Have some other considerations you can make. Like I said, you might want to include more synthesis. You could try the Arsenal and the Myutant Cry. In my experience, I feel like I'm bricking too much on it, and it's not really that helpful. And you almost go down too low in life when you summon this with Mutant. Like taking 3,000 damage, it's almost too much. Other really good rank 8s to consider. We have Lancelot. Lancelot's also great for making Zeus plays, can attack directly. He has a mandatory negate, so be careful when you play him though. He negates the next card that is played, including your own, and you cannot control that, so make sure you don't negate your own card. But a really good play is like your opponent has a big board, you make Lancelot attacks directly, maybe they had a card to stop him from attacking directly, and he auto-negates it, and then he still hits directly, and then you just plop a Zeus on top of him, and then board clear, right? So Lancelot's really good consideration. Dingirsu is good for clearing other tower monsters, but to be honest, I don't see them that often. Like, what's his name, Avermax or something, made with an IP. But he's here, he's an option. And Hope Harbinger, right, is also another good one. Hope Harbinger. Another spell negate. He's also an option that you could make instead of the monster negate guy. So they're kind of similar in what they do, their purpose. But I already have Beast. Beast is already a monster negate, but then you can have 2 monster negates, so. But definitely viable. And that's what I would change, right? If you didn't want these 2, I'd include 2 of the other rank 8s, or maybe a synthesis into one of them. And there's also some other cards you can consider, but that's the main idea, the deck. Also, I did make a bit of a side deck, but to be honest, I'm not too good at that yet. But things that you could consider, also in the side deck or main deck, Nibiru's. Ghost Ogre is really good right now. This is good against what are those guys called? Tenpai decks, because you can pop their field spell. This is also a target for Emergency Teleport to get you a level 3 tuner out of your deck to make Psychic M Punisher. Also funny to do it that way. Droll, because Droll is really helpful right now. You can play Floodgates, of course. Man, I love Floodgates. And we got Macrocosmos. You can just flip this on your opponent's turn. Like we said, we don't care that much about our graveyard, other than some Gold Pride Leon plays. It doesn't really hurt us that much to lose our graveyard. And there can be only one, also very good in this deck, because almost everything is a different type. Like I explained before, all the Gold Pride cards go into different types, and all the Mutant cards also go into a different type. And funny enough, a lot of those things also do not conflict with each other. All the things that everyone goes into. Even Sengen here, I think he's like what is this guy again? A beast? I don't remember. But he doesn't really affect anything either. I guess if it was Mutant Beast, it would be a problem, wouldn't it? Maybe. I think he's a Beast Warrior, actually. Maybe he's fine. And also, other than that, it's just board clears. You got Regeki, you got Lightning Storm, you got Feather Duster. Just clear the board, attack for game. It's kind of the idea of this deck. Alright, I think that sounds good for now. Maybe I'll play a bit of a test hands and try to show you how that goes. Alright, so see if I can't get a good test hand or two here. So, I'll see M-05, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And see what we got. Does this work? It do. So, let's start with stand by main, play your Mutant M-05, has to go first. So, we already have our Mutant in hand, so you would probably get ST. That would just only be for follow-up, but maybe you could also use it for fodder. It's also not bad. And since we have a mutant card, we can special summon mutant mutants. And mutant's kind of saving us because we can tribute itself. And we will tribute, let's tribute maybe a spell card. You could also tribute a monster. Oh, that's not supposed to be in there. That would explain why. Okay, and then we got Mist. Mist is summoned. We take 2700 damage. Because of the effect of mutants, we take the same damage equal to his attack. So since now we have lower life than our opponent, then we can special summon Carrie. Then we can get the trap card. I think it's called Start Your Engines. Yeah. Sudato Engine. Give that to our hand. We can also special summon the Leon, since we have less life than the opponent. And from there, you can set the card. We already have lower life. You can just synchro these two off. And there's the Psychic End Punisher. Not too much though, you're only 2700 lower than your opponent, but you have some interrupts, which is good. You could also use mutants and probably banish ST. That's kind of why I did it this way. And summon Beast. You can also summon Carrie in defense too. And there you have it. And then you would end turn. Your opponent starts turn. As soon as they summon anything, you can be like, Maxx G! Maxx G! And then they surrender, right? Funny thing is, if they play Called By, you actually have Beasts to negate the Called By. And often for Beasts, I like to use himself to tribute, or to banish himself, because you can also banish himself as cost for his own effect, and negate the spell. So now they have to play under Maxx C. And then your opponent tries to play another card, you activate the trap, start your engine. We have the perfect setup. We can pick one Leon from deck, two Leons from deck, and the third card will be, normally you just pick 3 Leons, but we already used one. But the third card will be your Pinballer. There he is. I'm blind. I found him. So you pick these 3. So this activates, destroys their monster, and then this is completely random which one you get. If you have 3 Leons, it's obviously going to be Leon. You just pick a card, it's Leon. If it wasn't Leon, it would have been Pinballer. You still get the effect. Then you can activate on your opponent's turn, quick synchro, summon Star Leon, pop another card at the end state, and at the end phase, goes back into the extra, summons the Leon, Leon summons back the Carrie. You can do it again on your turn, or you can use it for another play. Alright, well that's a pretty average hand for this deck, but not too bad. Let's see if I can't do it again. Alright, see if I can't do that again one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that 5? I think it's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Damn it! Okay, so it would have been this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. That's also pretty bad, eh? I have no way to get to Leon, huh? No way to special. Pay half. Get Ash. You know what? I actually could do something pretty funny here. I guess I could show this. So this kind of play is really funny. You would play like Piri Reis Map. This play looks really funny. You get Ash Blossom because it's a 0 attack. You go down to 4,000 life. Then you activate the new guy, Genjin. You set him in your spell and trap zone, activate his effect, he special summons himself, you take 2,000. And then he can search for another copy of himself, put that to your hand. And then you normal, hash, synchro, Psychic End Punisher. There you go. And you are at 2,000 life points with Psychic End Punisher. And you just pass on that. It's not the best, but surprisingly, it's kind of difficult to deal with for some people. So that's a pretty funny way to do it. Let's see if I can get another example. I can only get 5. I'm having a hard time with these sleeves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Too humid, man. All right, what's this hand look like? This is a really weird one. I think it works though. So you would have to start with Piri Reis Map, and you would get M-05. Play M-05. M-05 gets your Mutant to hand. Let's say your opponent does Effect Veiler or Ash. Hopefully not Imperm. Imperm's just this deck's weakness. You just added Imperm. Nothing you can do about it. But if you have Called By, you can probably Called By their Ash, or Called By their Maxx C, or Called By their Effect Veiler that was going to stop you. So you probably have... this play's probably pretty insulated already. So then you have 4,000 life. This is important, tribute itself, and we will tribute or banish from your deck Mutant, banish the Mutant Beast, Mutant, we'll summon Beast from deck, you take 2,400. So you took 4,000, then you took 2,400, then after that you will play Better Luck next time. Search your deck for Gold Pride Leon. And Gold Pride Leon has 1,500, so you will take another 1,500. So, did you know what happened there? Did you notice? Who's good at math? Not me, that's for sure. Half my life, 4,000 life, 2,400, 1,500. I'm at 100 life points. Then, tribute, banish from the fields, Better Luck. Summon Mist from the deck. Synchro, Leon and Mist to get the Psychic End Punisher at 100 life points. He's pretty hard to out now. And we also have the GP here. He's just kind of chilling. You can summon him or you can just hold him in your hand. Doesn't really matter. Another cool thing you might notice, I also just drew into Myutant Cry. And then you just pass turn. Then your opponent starts. Maybe they play a spell card, probably. Use your beast, banish itself, negate their spell. Then as soon as you do that, then you can activate Myutant Cry. We banished both beasts thanks to the mutants, and we also had the mists that we banished this for. So you got 3 already. And there's Ultimus. And Ultimus can activate again, banish, these went back into the deck. You have your M-05. You can banish your M-05 from your graveyard to negate and banish another card on the opponent's board, if they ever had the threat of outing your Psychic End Punisher. So I think that's a pretty good example how the deck might work. Pretty resilient. It actually is a little more consistent than I thought it would be. I don't expect to be winning any YCSs anytime soon, but it's a really appropriate power level for like a locals, I feel. It's pretty fun. And I often end with a board like this more often than you would think, with like some Gold Pride cards or like Ultimus next to Psychic End Punisher. I definitely turn a lot of heads at my locals and they look at my board and it's like, how did you get to this? That's pretty fun. Definitely recommend trying it out. If you want something a little different, I can guarantee you probably won't find anybody with a deck like this anywhere. around your locals, so it's pretty fun. I feel like I've actually inspired a couple of people, because I'm starting to actually see mutants played in my area more and more, the more events I go to, so it's pretty funny. I think people are starting to look at it more, with either whether it's Mutant Horus or like some other kind of Mutant Goaty decks I'm starting to see every now and then. So I think that's about it for now. Good luck out there, and see you next time. Bye.